Yo guys, what's up? So today I will be showing you guys how to drive your manual Ranger. Yep, so if you went out and you bought your manual Ranger and you don't know how to drive it, well, I'm going to show you guys how to drive it. This will work on any manual vehicle, but what you got here is you got your gas pedal, you got your brake, and then you got your clutch. This is the clutch. And then on Rangers, you got your e-brake right here on the floor. Alright. Now, on Rangers, they're 5 speeds. So you got first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear is down. And then fifth gear is right there. And then, of course, you got reverse. On some vehicles, sometimes reverse will be up right there, and that would be reverse. But on Rangers, it's 5 speed, so that's what it looks like. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start it up. So turn the key, and then you're going to want to push the clutch in. Make sure you're in neutral, and you can start it up. When you're in neutral, shake it to make sure you're in neutral, and then you can release the clutch. Like that. Alright, so I'm just going to get into this video and show you guys how to start off, drive on the main road. So yeah, so what you're going to want to do is when you want to take off, put your foot on the brake and then release your e-brake. Now, in a manual, you're going to want to put your seat all the way forward. That way you can reach the clutch and you can fully press it in. You always want to fully push in your clutch. So, yeah. So right here's the RPMs. Now, if you don't have an RPM gauge, you just got to listen to your engine. So, usually, when starting off, I rev it to about right there, 1500 RPM. And then I start releasing the clutch. Now, the biting point on these Rangers, these have a high clutch. So, the biting point is almost at the top. So we're going to put it in gear. And then we're going to take off. Like I said, I'm just revving mine to 1500 RPM to get going. Just like that. Now, when you're in a parking lot just driving around, that's fine for you to just stay in first gear. Alright, so we're going to come to a stop. So when coming to a stop, you want to push the clutch in and put it in neutral. But if you're going to quickly move, you're going to rev up the engine and release the clutch. Now to shift gears, I usually shift above 2000 RPM, and then you can release the clutch a little bit faster than taking off. Now, for whatever reason you need a downshift, it's better to rev match when you downshift because you put less wear on the clutch, less friction, and you don't jerk around a lot. Let's say if you would just push the clutch in and downshift and release the clutch, you would jerk pretty badly, and that puts wear on the clutch over time. So I'm going to show you. So we're going to push the clutch in, we're going to rev it and release the clutch. As you can see, that was really smooth. You just want to tap the throttle. You don't need to actually like rev it high or anything. But yeah, so here's the tachometer. And as you can see when you release it, alright, so we are at a red light now. So when you come to a red light and you're sitting at a red light, put it in neutral and take your foot off the clutch. Alright, it's green. Rev it a little bit, release the clutch. Now once you're moving, like I said, once you're moving, you don't have to release the clutch that slow. You can just release it. Of course, you don't want to release it too fast, because then you'll start to jerk. Alright, so we're going to come up on 4th gear. Push the clutch in, wait a few seconds, and then release it. So when you're shifting gears, usually you want to wait a few seconds for your RPMs to drop and then release it. That just makes a smooth shift. Alright, so we're coming to a stop. Clutch in. You don't immediately have to push the clutch in, but if your RPMs start going under, I'd say 1500 RPM, you want to push the clutch in. Right now we're on a hill. Give it some gas, release the clutch. Second gear, 3rd gear. As you can see, you just want to wait a few seconds when you shift. So right here I'm going to shift, wait a few seconds, let the RPM drop, and release the clutch. That's a smooth shift right there. We're in 4th gear right now. RPM's almost at 2000 RPM. That's fine. If your RPM goes under 1500 RPM, you want to downshift. That way you don't bog your engine. If you don't have an RPM gauge, you just gotta hear. You know, usually when you're bogging your engine and you need a downshift, your engine will start to shake. You'll feel some vibrating, so you will want to downshift. I'm going to show you a rev match downshift. So we're going to downshift to 3rd gear. Tap the gas a little bit and release the clutch. That was really smooth. And yeah, these Rangers are pretty easy to drive. I mean, they don't have a heavy clutch. They're hydraulic. Now when taking off from a stop, you don't want to be too slow on the clutch because you can burn it out. So you don't want to burn your clutch out. Just like that, that's good. Alright, now I'm going to put in 2nd gear. Release the clutch. But yeah, you guys should get it by now. Now if you want to reverse is a little bit different because you do not want to fully release the clutch when you're backing up, because if you do, you'll be backing up pretty damn fast. So you just want to I'll show you guys how to back up real quick. When I pull up somewhere good to back up. Coming to a stop, push the clutch in, put it in neutral. Alright, first gear. Clutch in. Second gear. Now, of course, when you're learning how to drive a manual, you don't want to go on the main street like I showed you. You know, you kind of want to fill it out. So, if you want to go into a parking lot, and fill it out. Alright, so I'm just going to skip through this red light. I'll pick it up when it turns green. Alright, so it's going to turn green in just a few. So you want to push the clutch in, put in first gear, and like I said, just give it about 1500 RPM of gas and release the clutch, as I'll show you here. And we're going down a hill right now. So if you want to save gas, you can actually put it in neutral and just coast down the hill. Just like that. You know, it's really easy to drive a manual. So once you get the use of it, once you get used to it, it's pretty easy to drive. Now if you want to save gas, then just put it in neutral when you're going down a hill, and it will keep the speed. Alright, we're at a stop sign. First gear, a little bit of gas. Now when you're turning, sometimes you gotta turn slow, so just push the clutch in. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to reverse real quick. Even though we're kind of on a hill. Like I said, you don't want to fully release the clutch because you'll back up too fast. So what you want to do is you want to put it in reverse, right? And then you just want to give it just a little bit of gas. Just a little bit. Like that. And you want to release the clutch to its biting point. Just like that. And now we're moving. Push the clutch in. Got to move back more. Give it some gas. Release the clutch to the biting point. Push it back in. Got to move a little bit more. release it to the biting point, push it back in, and just like that, that's how you reverse. Real easy to do. And yeah, so that's about it. Of course, if you want to turn the vehicle off, you can turn it off. Make sure it's in neutral. And to keep it from rolling, usually what I do is I put it in gear and release the clutch, and that will hold it. That will hold the vehicle from rolling. And just for extra security, I guess, you can put the emergency brake down, and that will hold it too. Or if you're not on a big hill, if you're just on flat ground, you can just leave it in neutral and put the emergency brake down. You might just want to leave it in neutral and put the emergency brake down if you're just starting out and learning how to drive a manual, because you might leave it in gear and forget it's in gear, and when you start it, you might release the clutch and you might stall it and go forward. You don't want to do that. But yeah, but if you're on a steep hill, put it in gear, leave it in gear, and yeah, that will hold it. But I want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys found this video helpful, give it a like. And yeah, thanks for watching. Later, guys.